12 years ago, the people of Stone and George County elected me to be their conservative voice to serve as their state representative in Jackson, Mississippi. It is a job I don't take lightly, even after all these years. Arriving in Jackson, Mississippi and our country was in a major recession. My commitment to fiscal responsibility in Jackson, forcing the government to do more with less and turn a budget shortfall into surplus and balancing the state budget, allowing us to fully fund the rainy day fund around $500 million. I fought to return taxpayers' dollars to the working class people by voting to cut state income tax on the people, making it the largest in Mississippi history. I voted to phase out the franchise and inventory tax on small and large businesses and fully funding the Homestead Exemption Act. I fought hard for education with 3 teacher pay raises, teacher assistant pay raises, also enhancing our career technical workforce development programs for the future of our kids. There have been many highs and lows during my time in Jackson, but what stands out the most is the catastrophic event of the COVID-19 pandemic and watching the devastation of families losing loved ones, our businesses suffering, and our hospitals overloaded. We set aside $104 million this past session that will benefit all of our rural hospitals that have suffered during these economic times. We were able to set aside millions of dollars to aid businesses who were unable to operate during the pandemic with the Back to Business grants. In 2018, after many people in surrounding communities were struggling to get internet service to their homes, we started working on legislation that allowed our electric cooperatives to have the opportunity to get in the broadband business to possibly supply internet to all rural areas in the state. We set aside $75 million to help our electric cooperatives get started. Infrastructure and transportation has always been a top priority of mine. Last session, we were able to increase harvest permit loads from 84 to 88,000. It is vital that we protect our conservative values. We passed legislation a few years ago protecting our religious rights. We also passed legislation which prohibits biological males from participating in sports designated for females. Also banning critical race theory teaching in our public schools. I am pro-Second Amendment and law enforcement. I supported numerous bills like the Back to Badge Act. I'm a strong supporter of our volunteer firemen. Increased funding for rural fire trucks has always been a priority. Length of service award for our volunteers is legislation we just passed that after 20 years will have a $10,000 drawdown plus interest as an incentive for our volunteer fire department recruiting. Sacrifices made by the men and women who served our country in the military will never be overlooked. Currently, a new Mississippi Veterans Home is in construction in northern Harrison County that will benefit George, Stone, and surrounding counties and their family members that won't have to travel so far to see and visit their loved ones. It is an honor and a privilege to serve the people. I am Doug Mcleod. I'm seeking re-election for State Representative District 107, and I humbly ask for your vote.